So your boy here has a tendency to kind of overreact just a little bit. Let me explain. So when this stuff kicked off on my first video, I freaked out when I found out that Green Arrow pretty much was working for Amanda Waller, because Green Arrow does have a tendency to not like the superheroes or the metahumans, you know, because he don't have any powers, but neither does Batman, but he doesn't hate them. And I know you guys are going to say, well, what about Tower of Babel? Okay, yeah, being prepared for him and hating them are two different things, I think. And then, like, how many superheroes actually turn bad and then stay bad? That's actually a pretty good question. Let me know in the comments. You know, how many superheroes turn bad and then stay that way, like never went back? Only one I could think of right now is the Maker off the top of my head. So let me know in the comments. Now, my name is Dorian. This is SEM Comics. We're continuing our coverage of Absolute Power with Green Arrow, number 15. So our story starts off with Green Arrow trying to dig up something, and he's also remembering things from his past. And he is digging up this artifact, or this thing, might not be an artifact. Either way it goes, it's something that Martian Manhunter gave him, and he entrusted him and him alone with it. He said it might be the most dangerous weapon in the world, or on the planet, same thing. And that if he ever needs to destroy the Justice League, this will be the key. So he finds whatever he was searching for, and he radios back to headquarters to give him a pickup. And they was like, you can't, Bright has your ship. And he was like, what are you talking about? He was like, yeah, he said you sent him on a mission. And all of a sudden he was like, oh no. He says an expletive and starts running. And if you remember from the last video, or if you read the last issue, you remember that the Arrow family is falling from the sky. That's right. Green Arrow, his son, Red Arrow, Arsenal, Red Canary, Speedy, and Owlette are all dropping out the sky. They have no superpowers, they have no parachute, and it looks like they have no hope. So Arsenal, the original Speedy, says, everyone, quick, parachute arrows, because of course they do. So the Red Canary is like, I don't use arrows. And then Red Arrow gets close to her, grabs her hand, and deploys her parachute arrow just in time enough to slow them down a little bit, but they still hit the desert floor pretty hard. But they're definitely not out the woods yet, because the whole reason why they were dropped from the sky is because Tomorrow Woman, she's still on her ass, she's still pissed off. She lands so hard on the desert floor that she creates a sonic boom, and everybody goes flying. She grabs Roy Harper by the neck, and is about to choke him out when Green Arrow's son comes over and starts to talk to Tomorrow Woman. I guess they tried out at the same time for the Justice League, and then he starts to kind of just let her know that Dr. Ivo and T.O. Morrow is not going to fix her. They're just going to weaponize her again to come with them, and they'll do everything in their power to help her become a superhero. I guess that conflicted with her programming that was already in her, because she just kind of like does like a skirt, and then she just lets go of Roy Harper, falls over, and Green Arrow, his son, catches her. So now they're like, all right, that problem's avoided. Now we gotta go get Ivo. And then they see the ship pass over, and it belongs to Amanda Waller, and they're like, damn it, they got Ivo. So they start chasing after her, talking about they need to follow him. And then all of a sudden, Roy is like, well, where's Jade and Lane? And all of a sudden, his boo thing starts talking to him on the phone, or the comm, and it's like, hey, don't worry, we're on the ship, and we're going to do your job. Now, if you watch Young Justice, then you know that Cheshire can handle herself. Like, I'm not worried about her. But there's going to be an issue because Bright's on that ship, and Bright's crazy. And he's mostly an android. So speaking of Bright, he starts talking to Ivo, and Ivo's like, well, why did you even grab me? And he was like, whatever Amanda Waller wants to do with you, that's what's going to happen. If she wants to help, you're going to help. If she wants to get rid of you, she's going to get rid of you. And then Ivo's like, swear I've met you here before. And then Bright's like, well, in my world, this is what's happened. And then Ivo's like, oh, my world, huh? Here comes the multiversal, you know what? So as soon as Bright threatens to rip Ivo's tongue out and eat it in front of him, told you he's crazy. All of a sudden the pilot's like, hey, we got an issue. And it's like, what's that? We got an enemy in our tail. And it's the Arrow family. So they're flying outside the plane. I don't even know how they're hanging on, but they shoot their arrows and they board the Task Force 7 ship. And in Task Force 7, these are like the normal dudes, come out. But not only do they have guns, but they also have jetpacks. Now, the reason why the Arrow family is doing this, they're trying to create a distraction so that Cheshire and her daughter can get Ivo. So Cheshire and her daughter goes up to Ivo. Ivo's like, Cheshire, what are you doing here? And he's like, we're here to free you. We're going to take you back to the superheroes so you can help them. And Ivo's like, counter offer. I'll pay you a bunch of money to portray your ex, and then you take me as far away from here as possible. And Cheshire's like, deal. And her daughter's like, Mom. And that's why I like Cheshire, because her two parents were supervillains, and the apple does not fall far from the tree. Like, she might be helping him out, but don't get it twisted. Cheshire is a bad guy. But unfortunately, that deal looks like it's not going through because Bright shows up and Bright's like, you guys ain't going nowhere. So the Arrow family's holding their own, but it's, arrows versus guns, and it's flying versus on the plane. So, they're having issues. So Roy's like, all right, I got to do something. Hope this works. He puts an autopilot and he joins into the fight. So he wasn't fighting for that long when all of a sudden Bright shows up holding his boo thing and his kid. And it's like, you got a choice. It's either the brat or your lover. You choose. And Roy's like, don't drop him. He's like, why would I drop him? I'm not dropping him. I just want you to choose which one you want me to rip apart first right in front of you. That's all. Like I said, crazy. So Cheshire wakes up and she kicks Bright, and then he's still holding on to her kid. And Bright's like, well, I guess she made the decision for you. And he's about to do something to her kid when all of a sudden a green arrow comes out of nowhere, hits him in the shoulder, and somebody says, Bright, get the hell away from my granddaughter. It's the original Green Arrow. So yes, he's still a good guy. I should have known that, but he was very convincing in Absolute Power #1. Very.